This morning you woke up feeling tired, not just in your body, but deep in your soul, like something inside you has been carrying too much for too long. Even after a full night of sleep, your heart still feels heavy, your mind still feels restless, and there's a quiet kind of pain you can't fully explain. Maybe it's the pressure you've been under. Maybe it's the silent battles no one knows about, or the weight of expectations, disappointments, and fears about what's ahead. And even though you try to stay strong, even though you keep showing up every day, there's a part of you that feels drained, worn out, and in need of something deeper than just rest. Because the truth is, some wounds don't show on the outside, some struggles don't have words, and some mornings feel harder than others for reasons you can't explain. Maybe today is one of those mornings where you opened your eyes, and instead of peace, you felt heaviness, a quiet anxiety, or a sense that you're already behind before the day even begins. And that feeling can be overwhelming. It can make even the smallest things feel difficult. It can make you question your strength, your direction, even your purpose. But right now, in this moment, I need you to hear this clearly. You are not alone, no matter how lonely it feels. Even if no one around you understands what you're going through, even if you haven't told anyone, even if you've been carrying this silently for so long, you are not alone. Because God sees you. He sees the exhaustion you try to hide. He sees the tears you didn't let fall. And He sees the thoughts that keep you up at night. He understands you in a way no one else ever could, and He has not left you, not even for a second. Even in the moments you felt distant, even when you questioned everything, He has been there, quietly, patiently, waiting for you to come to Him just as you are. Not strong, not perfect, not holding it all together, but tired, overwhelmed, and maybe even a little broken, because that's where His healing begins. Not when everything is okay, but right in the middle of your struggle, right in the middle of your pain, right here in this moment. So, before you rush into your day, before you push through the heaviness like you always do, take a moment to pause. Just breathe. Just be here. Because you don't have to fix everything right now. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need this moment. And maybe, just maybe, this is where your healing starts. Not all at once, not in a dramatic way, but gently, quietly, as you begin to let go of what you've been carrying, and allow yourself to be held, to be seen, and to be restored. Now, before you go any further into your day, I want you to slow down for just a moment, because you don't have to rush into everything right now. This moment is yours, a small space where nothing is required of you, where you can simply pause and breathe. Take a deep breath in, slowly, gently, and then release it just as slowly, letting your body begin to soften. Do it again, a little deeper this time, allowing the air to fill your lungs, and then leave without force, without tension. As you breathe, notice how your body feels. Notice where you might be holding tightness without even realizing it. Maybe your shoulders are tense, maybe your chest feels heavy, maybe your mind feels crowded with thoughts that haven't had a chance to settle. And that's okay. You don't have to fix any of it right now. You don't have to push anything away. You just have to notice it. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply become aware, without judgment, without pressure. Let your breathing become steady, slow, and natural, like a gentle rhythm that brings you back to yourself. With every breath in, allow yourself to receive calm, and with every breath out, imagine releasing just a little bit of the stress you've been carrying. You don't have to release everything at once. You don't have to force anything to change. Just let go of a small piece at a time. Even the smallest release matters. Even a tiny shift can begin to make space for peace. Right now, there is nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to control. The day hasn't even fully begun yet, and you are already allowed to slow down and give yourself this moment. If your thoughts try to pull you away, gently bring yourself back to your breath, back to this moment. Not with frustration, not with force, but with patience, like you would guide someone you care about. Because your mind has been working hard, maybe too hard, trying to keep up with everything, trying to hold everything together. And right now, you're giving it permission to rest, even if just for a little while. Feel the stillness begin to settle in, even if it's faint at first, even if it comes and goes. You don't need perfect peace. You just need a small sense of calm, something gentle that reminds you that you are safe in this moment. Let your breathing continue, slow and steady, grounding you, centering you, bringing you back to a place where you don't feel so scattered. Because when everything feels overwhelming, coming back to your breath is one of the simplest ways to find your center again. And as you stay here for a little longer, notice how even this small pause begins to shift something inside you. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's just a slight easing of tension, but it's there, and it matters. You are giving yourself something important right now, something you don't always allow yourself to have, and that is space. Space to breathe, space to feel, space to exist without pressure. And in this space, you don't have to carry everything the same way you were before. You can begin to loosen your grip, even just a little, and trust that you don't have to hold it all together on your own. Stay here for a few more breaths, letting this moment sink in, letting your body and your mind settle just a bit more, because this is where the shift begins. Not in rushing, not in forcing, but in slowing down, in breathing, and in allowing yourself to simply be. And as you sit here in this quiet moment, gently breathing, slowly settling, I want you to know that everything you're feeling right now is seen. Even the things you haven't said out loud, even the emotions you tried to ignore, none of it is hidden. Because sometimes the hardest part isn't what we go through. It's feeling like no one truly understands it. It's carrying something so heavy on the inside while everything on the outside looks normal. You smile, you keep going, you do what needs to be done, but deep down, there are moments when you feel tired in a way that rest alone can't fix. And that kind of tiredness, it deserves to be acknowledged. God sees that part of you, the part that feels worn down, the part that keeps pushing even when it's hard, the part that doesn't always know what to do next but keeps trying anyway. And He understands you completely, without you needing to explain a single word. He sees the silent battles you've been fighting, the thoughts you wrestle with when no one else is around, the weight you carry when everything feels uncertain, and He has not overlooked any of it. Not even for a moment, even when it felt like you were alone, even when it seemed like no one noticed, even when you questioned if anyone cared, He was there, quietly present, gently holding space for you, waiting for you to turn toward Him, because you were never meant to carry everything by yourself. You were never meant to hold all that pain without support. And yet, somewhere along the way, you learned to do it alone, to keep it inside, to stay strong no matter what. But strength doesn't mean pretending you're okay when you're not, and it doesn't mean carrying more than your heart can handle. Real strength is allowing yourself to be seen, even in your weakness, even in your uncertainty. Right now, in this moment, you don't have to hide anything. You don't have to put on a front. You can be exactly as you are, tired, unsure, maybe even a little broken, and still be completely accepted. God is not waiting for you to be perfect. He's not waiting for you to have everything figured out. He meets you right here, in the middle of your mess, in the middle of your questions, in the middle of your pain. And there is something deeply comforting in knowing that you don't have to explain yourself to be understood. You don't have to justify your feelings. You don't have to prove your worth. You are already seen, already known, already cared for. Maybe you've been carrying something for a long time, something you've tried to ignore, something you've pushed down because you didn't know what else to do with it. And over time, it just became part of you, something you learned to live with. But just because you've been carrying it for a long time doesn't mean you have to carry it forever. Just because you've gotten used to the weight doesn't mean it was meant to stay. God sees that burden, even the parts you don't fully understand yourself. And He doesn't look at you with disappointment. He looks at you with compassion, with patience, with a deep desire to bring you peace. You don't have to earn that. You don't have to prove anything to receive that kind of love. It's already there, already reaching toward you, already surrounding you in ways you might not even realize yet. So as you sit here, breathing, allowing yourself to slow down, let this truth settle into your heart. You are not alone in what you're feeling, and you are not forgotten in what you're going through. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, even if the heaviness is still there, something is shifting. Something gentle, something quiet, something that begins with simply being seen and understood. And maybe that's where healing begins. Not in fixing everything at once, but in realizing that you don't have to carry it alone anymore, that you are supported, that you are held, and that even in this moment, you are deeply cared for. And maybe, as you sit here a little longer, you can begin to notice what has really been weighing on you, not just on the surface, but deeper inside. Because sometimes we move so quickly through life that we don't stop long enough to truly recognize what we're carrying. Maybe it's anxiety, that constant feeling in your chest, like something could go wrong at any moment, like your mind is always preparing for problems that haven't even happened yet. It's exhausting, always being on edge, always trying to stay one step ahead just to feel safe. Or maybe it's pressure, the kind that builds quietly over time. Expectations from others, expectations from yourself, the feeling that you have to keep going, keep achieving, keep holding everything together no matter how tired you are. And even when you do your best, it still feels like it's never quite enough. Sometimes it's not even one clear thing. Sometimes it's just a heaviness you can't explain, a silent weight sitting in your heart. You wake up with it. You carry it through the day, and even when things seem fine on the outside, something inside still feels off. That kind of pain is hard to talk about, because you don't always have the words for it. You just feel it, quietly, constantly, like something unresolved, something that hasn't found its way out yet. Maybe you've been ignoring it, pushing it down, telling yourself to just keep going, because that's what you've always done. You've learned how to function even when you're not okay, how to smile even when something inside hurts. But carrying pain in silence doesn't make it disappear. It just makes it heavier over time. And eventually, it starts to show up in other ways, in your energy, in your thoughts, in the way you feel when you wake up in the morning. Maybe that's why today feels different, why the weight feels more noticeable, why your heart feels more tired than usual. Not because you're weak, but because you've been strong for too long without a break. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to say that you're tired, that you're overwhelmed, that something inside you needs attention. That doesn't make you less strong. It makes you honest. Because ignoring your pain doesn't make you stronger. Acknowledging it does. Allowing yourself to recognize what you're feeling is the first step towards something changing. You don't have to label everything perfectly. You don't have to understand every emotion completely. You just have to be willing to notice it, to sit with it for a moment, instead of running from it. And as uncomfortable as that might feel, there is something powerful in it. Because what you allow yourself to feel, you also begin to release. God sees every one of these burdens, the anxiety, the pressure, the silent pain, even the things you haven't fully admitted to yourself yet. And He doesn't expect you to carry them forever. He doesn't ask you to pretend they're not there. He invites you to bring them to Him, exactly as they are. Not cleaned up, not figured out, just real. And maybe right now, you can begin to do that, not in a big or dramatic way, but gently, just becoming aware of what you're holding, just acknowledging it without fear. Because the moment you stop running from your pain is the moment you begin to take its power away. The moment you bring it into the light is the moment healing quietly begins. So whatever it is you're carrying today, whether you can name it or not, whether it feels small or overwhelming, just know this: it matters. Your feelings matter, your struggles matter, and you don't have to keep carrying them the same way anymore. And as you stay here in this moment, breathing, allowing yourself to be honest, you are already taking the first step towards something different. Not by forcing change, but by finally allowing yourself to feel what's been waiting to be seen. And now, in this quiet space you've created, after allowing yourself to slow down, to feel, and to acknowledge what's been on your heart, you can begin to gently turn toward God. Not with perfect words, not with a rehearsed prayer, but simply with honesty. You don't have to say everything all at once. You don't have to find the right phrases. You can just begin where you are. Even a simple whisper from your heart is enough, because God is not listening for perfection. He is listening for you. So maybe right now, quietly within yourself, you can begin to say, God, I'm here. I don't have everything figured out. I don't feel strong, but I'm here, and I need you. God, you see everything I've been carrying, even the things I haven't been able to say out loud. You see the weight, the pressure, the thoughts, the emotions that I've been trying to hold together on my own. And today, I don't want to carry it all by myself anymore. I don't want to pretend I'm okay when I'm not. I don't want to keep pushing through without ever stopping to breathe. So right now, I begin to surrender. Not in a way that feels forced, but in a way that feels honest. I give you what I can, even if it's just a small piece at a time. I give you my worries, the ones that keep returning no matter how much I try to quiet them. I give you my fears about what I can't control, about what I don't understand, about what might happen next. I give you the pressure I've been carrying, the expectations I've placed on myself, and the weight of trying to keep everything together. You know how heavy it has felt, even when I didn't say anything. And I give you the silent pain, the things I've kept inside, the emotions I didn't know how to process, the parts of me that feel tired in a way that rest alone can't fix. God, I don't have to hold on to all of this anymore, because you are here, and you are willing to carry what I cannot. Even if I don't fully understand how, even if I don't feel an immediate change, I choose to trust that you are receiving what I release. And as I begin to let go, even just a little, I ask you to meet me in this moment. Meet me in my weakness. Meet me in my uncertainty. Meet me in everything I'm feeling right now. I don't need to hide anything from you. I don't need to pretend, because you already know my heart completely. And still, you stay. Still you listen. Still you care. So I come to you just as I am, not strong, not perfect, not put together, but real. And I trust that this is enough, that I am enough, even in this moment. God, take what I've been holding on to so tightly and help me release it, little by little. Teach me how to let go, not all at once, but step by step, breath by breath. Help me to trust you with what I don't understand. Help me to believe that I don't have to carry everything on my own, even when it's hard, even when I feel unsure. Remind me that you are here, and as this prayer begins, as this moment unfolds, I choose to open my heart just a little more. I choose to believe that something is shifting, even if I can't fully see it yet, because healing doesn't always happen loudly. Sometimes it begins quietly, in moments like this, where I simply turn toward you and say, I'm ready. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to be held. I'm ready to begin again. And as you continue in this moment of prayer, gently opening your heart, something inside you can begin to loosen, even if it's just a little. Because letting go doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly, in layers, in quiet decisions to release what you were never meant to carry alone. Right now, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to push yourself to suddenly feel different. You can simply begin by allowing your grip to soften, allowing yourself to stop holding on so tightly to everything that has been weighing you down. God, I release what I've been carrying for too long, even the things I didn't realize I was holding on to. I release the need to control everything, the need to understand everything, the need to fix everything all at once. Because trying to control what is out of my hands has only made me more tired, more overwhelmed, more anxious. And right now, I choose to step back from that weight, even if just for this moment. I release the fear that keeps returning, the thoughts that replay over and over again, the what-ifs that fill my mind before the day even begins. I don't have to keep entertaining those thoughts. I don't have to give them power over my peace. I release the pressure I've been placing on myself, the expectations to always be strong, always be productive, always have everything together. I am allowed to be human. I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to not have everything figured out. And God, I release the pain I've been holding inside, the emotions I didn't know how to process, the moments that hurt more than I admitted. Even if I don't fully understand it, even if I don't know how to name it, I give it to you. Because holding on to it hasn't healed me, it has only made it heavier. And right now, I don't want to carry it the same way anymore. So, I let go. Not perfectly, not completely, but honestly. I let go of what I can in this moment, trusting that you will take care of the rest. And as I release, I don't feel empty. I feel lighter, even if just a little. Because every small step of letting go creates space. Space for something new, something better, something peaceful. God, fill the space I've been holding with your presence. Where there was fear, bring calm. Where there was pressure, bring rest. Where there was pain, begin to bring healing. Help me not to pick those burdens back up again, not to return to the same patterns of holding everything inside. Remind me that I can come back to this moment anytime, that I can release again and again, as many times as I need. Because letting go is not a one-time thing. It's a process, a journey, something I learn little by little. And that's okay. I don't have to rush it. I just have to stay open to it. Even now, I can feel something shifting. Maybe small, maybe quiet, but real. A sense that I don't have to carry everything the same way I did before. A sense that I am supported in ways I'm still learning to trust. And as I stay here a little longer, breathing, releasing, allowing, I begin to understand that peace doesn't come from controlling everything. It comes from surrendering, from trusting, from letting go of what was never mine to carry alone. So I continue to release, gently, patiently, without pressure, knowing that every breath out is a step closer to freedom, every moment of letting go is a step closer to healing, and every quiet surrender is a step closer to peace. And as you continue to release what has been weighing on your heart, something new can begin to take its place, not forcefully, not all at once, but gently, quietly, like a calm that slowly settles after a storm. Because when you let go of anxiety, even just a little, you create space for peace to enter, not a loud or overwhelming peace, but a steady, grounding presence that reminds you that you are safe in this moment. God, as I release my worries, I ask you to fill me with your peace, the kind of peace that doesn't depend on everything going right, the kind of peace that stays even when life feels uncertain, a peace that quiets my thoughts, that slows down the racing in my mind, that helps me breathe a little deeper without feeling like something is about to go wrong. Because so often, my mind has been filled with noise, constant thinking, constant worrying, constant trying to prepare for things I can't control. And it has left me feeling restless, even in moments that should feel calm. But right now, I choose something different. I choose to receive peace instead of holding on to anxiety. I choose to trust instead of overthinking. God, calm my mind when it starts to spiral. Bring stillness to the thoughts that won't seem to slow down. Remind me that I don't need to have every answer right now, that I don't need to solve everything before I can feel at peace. Let your presence settle over me like a quiet stillness, something steady and unshaken, something deeper than my circumstances. And even if my situation hasn't changed yet, even if the things I've been worried about are still there, I don't have to carry them in the same way anymore. Because peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of something greater within me. Help me to feel that now, not just as an idea, but as something real. A soft calm in my chest, a slowing of my breath, a gentle reminder that I am not alone in any of this. God, replace my anxious thoughts with steady ones, thoughts that are grounded, thoughts that are not driven by fear. When my mind tries to go back to worry, gently bring me back to this place of peace again, because I know it's easy to fall back into old patterns, to pick anxiety back up without even realizing it. But I don't have to stay there. I can return to peace again and again. And right now, in this moment, I allow myself to feel it, even if just a little. I allow my shoulders to relax, my breathing to slow, my thoughts to soften. I don't have to rush into the day with tension. I don't have to carry stress into every moment. I can move forward with a different energy, a calmer presence, a quieter mind. God, let this peace stay with me, not just in this moment of prayer, but as I go through my day, in conversations, in decisions, in the unexpected moments. Remind me that your peace is always available to me. Even when things feel uncertain, even when I don't know what's ahead, I can still choose to be anchored, not in control, but in trust. And as I sit here a little longer, breathing in this stillness, I begin to understand that peace is not something I have to chase. It's something I can receive. It's something you are already offering. So I open myself to it now, fully, gently, without resistance. Let your peace fill the spaces where anxiety used to live. Let it settle deep within me, steady and quiet. And as this calm becomes more familiar, more natural, I begin to carry myself differently, not rushed, not overwhelmed, but grounded, present, and at ease. Because I know now I don't have to live in constant worry. I don't have to start my day with fear. I can start from a place of peace and return to it whenever I need. And as this sense of peace begins to settle within you, You may also start to notice something else gently shifting. The pressure that once felt so heavy is no longer sitting on you in the same way. It might still be there. The responsibilities, the expectations, the things you need to do today, but something about how you hold them begins to feel different. Less tight, less overwhelming, less like you have to carry everything perfectly all at once. Because pressure often comes from the belief that everything depends on you, that if you don't get it right, something will fall apart. And that belief can quietly drain your energy before your day even begins. But right now, you are learning a new way, a way that is not built on constant tension, but on calm and trust. God, I release the pressure to have everything under control. I release the expectation that I need to figure out every detail of my life right now. I don't have to rush ahead. I don't have to force outcomes. I don't have to carry everything alone. Instead, I choose to trust you, not just in the big things, but in the small moments of today, in the conversations I will have, in the decisions I will make, in the unknowns I will face, because trust is not about knowing everything. It's about believing that I am guided, even when I can't see the full picture yet. And as I begin to trust, I feel something soften inside me. The urgency fades, the tightness loosens. The feeling that I have to rush begins to slow down. I don't need to prove anything right now. I don't need to meet every expectation perfectly. I can move step by step, moment by moment, doing what I can and letting that be enough. God, remind me that I am not defined by how much I accomplish in a single day. I am not measured by how perfectly I handle everything. My worth is not tied to my performance. And when I forget that, when I start to feel the pressure building again, gently bring me back to this truth. Bring me back to calm, back to trust, back to a steady pace that doesn't overwhelm me. Help me to approach this day with clarity instead of chaos, with intention instead of urgency. Let me move through my responsibilities with a sense of grounding, not stress. Because when I am calm, I can think clearly. When I am not overwhelmed, I can respond instead of react. When I trust, I don't feel like everything is a burden, and that changes everything, not the situation itself, but the way I experience it. God, walk with me through this day. Not ahead of me where I can't see you, not behind me where I feel alone, but with me, in every step, in every moment. Remind me that I don't have to rush to the future. I can stay present. I can handle what is in front of me, one thing at a time, without carrying the weight of everything else all at once. And even when unexpected things happen, even when plans change or challenges come up, I don't have to panic. I can pause, breathe, and return to trust again, because I know now that pressure doesn't have to control me. I don't have to live in that constant state of tension. I can choose calm. I can choose trust. I can choose to move differently. And as I sit here in this moment, feeling more grounded, more steady, I begin to understand that life doesn't have to feel like a constant rush. It can feel intentional. It can feel manageable. It can feel supported. So I step into this day not with pressure, but with peace. Not with fear of failing, but with trust that I am guided. Not with the weight of everything, but with the strength to handle what comes, one moment at a time. And as you begin to feel more calm, more steady, more grounded within yourself, your perspective can start to shift in a gentle but powerful way. Because when your heart is no longer overwhelmed by anxiety or pressure, it becomes easier to see what has always been there, the quiet blessings, the small moments, the things you may have overlooked before. So often, when life feels heavy, it's easy to focus on what's missing, what's not working, what hasn't happened yet. Your mind naturally goes to the gaps, the things you wish were different, the things you feel you still need in order to feel okay. But right now, in this moment, you can begin to see differently. Not by forcing yourself to ignore your struggles, but by gently allowing your awareness to expand beyond them. God, open my eyes to what I already have, even if it feels small, even if I've taken it for granted. Help me to notice the simple things, the quiet blessings that are already present in my life today. Because even in the middle of uncertainty, there are still things to be grateful for. The breath in my body, the chance to begin again today, the moments of stillness that remind me I am here, I am alive, I am held. And maybe there are people, moments, or opportunities that I haven't fully appreciated. Not because they weren't meaningful, but because my mind was too focused on everything else. So right now, I slow down and begin to notice. I begin to feel a sense of gratitude, not as something forced, but as something that grows naturally when I pay attention. God, thank you for staying with me, even when I didn't notice. Thank you for carrying me through moments I didn't think I would get through. Thank you for the strength I didn't realize I had until I needed it. Thank you for the small moments of peace, the quiet pauses, the unexpected kindness, the things that reminded me, even briefly, that everything wasn't as heavy as it seemed. And as I begin to feel this gratitude, something inside me starts to shift even more. Because gratitude changes the way I see my life, it softens the feeling of lack. It reminds me that I am not as empty as I thought I was. There is more here than I realized. More support, more strength, more goodness, even if it doesn't always look the way I expected. God, help me to carry this awareness with me, not just in this moment, but throughout my day. When my mind tries to go back to what's missing, gently bring me back to what is already here, because I don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to feel grateful. I can feel it now, in the middle of where I am, in the middle of what I'm still working through. And as I continue to practice this, I begin to feel lighter, not because my problems have disappeared, but because my focus has expanded. I'm no longer only seeing the weight, I'm also seeing the blessings. And that changes how I move through the day. I become more present, more open, more aware of the good that still exists around me. God, let gratitude take root in my heart. Let it grow quietly, steadily, shaping the way I think, the way I feel, the way I respond to life. Even in difficult moments, remind me that there is still something to hold on to, something to appreciate, something to be thankful for. Because I am not walking through this life empty. I am walking through it with more than I realize, and the more I begin to see it, the more it begins to grow. So I choose gratitude today, not as a denial of my struggles, but as a deeper awareness of everything that is still good, still present, still supporting me. And as this feeling settles within me, I begin to understand that abundance is not always about having more. Sometimes it's about finally seeing how much is already here. And as gratitude begins to take root in your heart, something even deeper can start to form within you. A quiet sense of trust that you are not walking through this life alone, that there is guidance available to you, even in moments when you feel unsure. Because one of the heaviest feelings to carry is uncertainty, not knowing what's next, not knowing if you're making the right choices, not knowing how things will unfold. It can make you feel stuck, like you're trying to move forward without a clear path. But right now, in this moment, you can begin to release the need to have everything mapped out. You don't need to see the entire road ahead to take the next step. God, guide me today, not all at once, but step by step. I don't need every answer right now. I just need enough clarity for what's in front of me. Help me to trust that even when I don't understand where I'm going, I am still being led. Even when things feel uncertain, I am not lost, because sometimes the path becomes clear only after you take a step. Sometimes understanding comes after movement, not before, and maybe you've been waiting to feel completely sure before you act, waiting to feel fully confident before you move forward. But clarity doesn't always come that way. So today, you allow yourself to move with faith, not with perfect certainty, but with quiet trust. Trust that you are being guided in ways you may not fully see yet. God, help me to recognize your guidance, even in small ways. In the thoughts that feel calm and clear, in the choices that bring peace instead of confusion, in the moments where something just feels right. Help me to slow down enough to notice those moments instead of rushing past them or doubting them. Because guidance is not always loud, it's often quiet, gentle. Something you feel rather than something you hear. And when I feel unsure, when I don't know what decision to make, help me to pause instead of panic. Help me to return to stillness, to breathe, and to listen. Because I don't have to force my way forward, I don't have to figure everything out on my own. I can trust that I am being supported, that I am being led, even through uncertainty. God, remove the fear of making the wrong choice. Replace it with confidence that no matter what, you can guide me back, redirect me, and lead me where I need to be. Because my journey is not fragile, it is held, it is guided, it is unfolding in ways I may not fully understand yet. And as I begin to trust this more, I feel less pressure to get everything perfect. I feel less fear about the future. I feel more open to the process, more willing to move forward, even without having all the answers. God, walk with me today in every decision, big or small, in what I say, in what I choose, in how I respond. Let me feel your presence not just in stillness, but in action, so that I don't feel alone when I step into my day, so that I don't feel like I have to carry the responsibility of everything by myself. And even if things don't go exactly as I expect, even if there are moments of confusion or difficulty, remind me that I am still being guided, that nothing is wasted, nothing is without purpose. Because when I trust that, I can move forward with peace instead of fear. I can take steps without hesitation. I can live my day with a sense of direction, even if the full picture isn't clear yet. And right now, as I sit in this moment, I choose to trust, not because I have all the answers, but because I believe I am being led. And that is enough. And as this sense of trust begins to settle more deeply within you, you may start to notice a quiet strength rising from inside, not loud, not overwhelming, but steady and present. It's the kind of strength that doesn't come from forcing yourself to be okay, but from knowing that you don't have to face everything alone. It's a strength that grows when you allow yourself to lean on something greater than yourself. Because for so long, you may have felt like you had to hold everything together on your own, like you had to be strong all the time, even when you were exhausted inside. But real strength is not about never feeling tired. It's about knowing where to go when you are. It's about allowing yourself to be supported, to be guided, to be held in moments when you don't have the energy to keep pushing. God, remind me that I am stronger than I feel right now, not because I have everything under control, but because you are with me. Even in moments where I feel unsure, even in moments where I feel weak, there is still something within me that keeps going, something that hasn't given up, and that strength comes from you. Help me to recognize that strength, to trust it, to rely on it, instead of doubting myself. Because doubt has a way of making everything feel heavier, making me question my ability, making me feel like I'm not enough for what I'm facing. But right now, I choose to believe something different. I choose to believe that I have what I need for today, that I have the strength for this moment, even if I don't have the strength for everything all at once. God, give me the courage to face this day with confidence, not a forced confidence, but a quiet assurance that I will be okay, no matter what comes. Help me to stand steady when things feel uncertain, to stay grounded when emotions rise, to remain calm even when situations don't go as planned, because I don't need to react to everything. I don't need to be shaken by every challenge. I can stay centered, I can stay anchored, I can stay connected to this peace I've found. And when I feel myself slipping, when old patterns try to come back, when fear or pressure tries to take over again, gently remind me of who I am in this moment. Remind me that I am not the same version of myself who was overwhelmed earlier. Something has shifted, something has softened, something has grown within me. God, strengthen my heart, strengthen my mind, strengthen my spirit. Not so I can carry more weight, but so I can move through life with more ease, more clarity, more trust. Let this strength show up in the way I speak, in the way I think, in the way I handle challenges today. Let it guide my reactions, my decisions, my presence. Because strength doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. It can be quiet, steady, calm, something that others may not even see, but something I feel deeply within myself. And as I continue to walk through this day, I carry that strength with me, not as something I have to prove, but as something I can rely on. God, thank you for being my source of strength, even when I didn't realize it. Thank you for sustaining me through moments I thought I couldn't handle. And as I move forward, I don't do it with fear. I do it with confidence, not in myself alone, but in the fact that I am supported, guided, and strengthened every step of the way. So no matter what today brings, I know this. I will not face it empty, I will not face it alone, and I will not face it without the strength I need. And that gives me a sense of calm, a sense of readiness, a sense that I can step into this day with a steady heart and a clear mind. And now, as this time of prayer gently comes to a close, you can take a moment to notice how you feel, not in a dramatic way, not expecting everything to be completely different, but simply becoming aware of what has shifted, even if it's small. Maybe your breathing feels a little slower. Maybe your thoughts feel a little quieter. Maybe the weight you were carrying doesn't feel quite as heavy as it did before. And even if the change is subtle, it still matters. Because healing doesn't always happen all at once. Sometimes it begins in moments like this. Quiet, steady, almost unnoticeable at first, but real. And what you've done here matters more than you think. You slowed down, you allowed yourself to feel, you chose to let go, and you opened your heart. That alone is powerful. God, thank you for meeting me in this moment. Thank you for listening, for staying, for being present even when I didn't have the right words. Thank you for the peace that has begun to settle, for the calm that is starting to replace my anxiety, for the strength that is quietly growing within me. As I step out of this moment and into the rest of my day, help me to carry this feeling with me, not perfectly, not constantly, but gently, returning to it whenever I need. When things start to feel overwhelming again, remind me to pause. When my thoughts begin to race, remind me to breathe. When I feel pressure building, remind me that I don't have to carry everything at once. Help me to come back to this place, again and again, this place of stillness, of trust, of quiet connection with you. Because this moment doesn't end here. It continues in the way I move, in the way I think, in the way I respond to everything that comes my way today. God, walk with me through every part of this day. In the small moments and the big ones, in the expected and the unexpected, let me feel that I am not alone. Let your peace guide my thoughts. Let your presence calm my heart. Let your strength support me in ways I may not even notice at first. And even if challenges come, even if things don't go as planned, remind me of what I've felt here. Remind me that I can return to this place of peace at any time. Because peace is not something I lose. It's something I reconnect with. It's something that is always available to me when I slow down and turn back toward you. So I don't leave this moment behind. I carry it with me. I carry the stillness, the release, the trust, the gratitude, the strength. And as I move forward, I do it differently. Not rushed, not overwhelmed, but grounded, steady, and calm. God, thank you for this new beginning, this fresh start, this quiet reset for my heart and mind. No matter what happened yesterday, no matter what I'm facing today, I step into this moment with peace. I step into this day with trust. I step into my life with a renewed sense of calm and clarity. And as this prayer comes to an end, I don't feel empty. I feel full, not of pressure, not of fear, but of something deeper, something steady, something real. So I take one more slow breath and gently move forward, knowing that I am held, I am guided, and I am at peace.